everybody, it is the 22nd of June, and I thought I'd do an update on my garden. You can see there's lots of growth compared to last month. We've got our Swiss chard exploding here. The basil is growing more. I believe the basil is probably outgrowing those two tomatoes there. Two peppers, sorry. So hopefully the peppers don't get crowded out. We've got, those are my little onions. I'll probably plant those wherever I have room, actually. Maybe, I don't know. I'll have to look at my notes and see where to plant those. This potted basil is actually doing much, much better than it was. Hoping it'll be nice and big by the time fall comes around so I can bring it inside. I still have to replant this tomato. I've actually got 2 tomato plants. One of my tomatoes out back died, so I'll be putting one of those out back. My spinach seeds are coming along, and of course the beets are doing well. I went through and thinned them out, so now there's only one beet plant for each spot. Actually, there are some tiny ones down here. Anyways, that's something I haven't really followed through on in the past, and I am definitely trying to this year so that I have some good root crops. Over here we've got more root crops, got some parsnips. The parsnips just aren't really taking off. I'm not sure why. I might plant some new ones soon. I did replant these, but you can see they're kind of sparse compared to these turnips. The turnips did amazing. I did the same thing with the turnips as I did with the beets. Made sure there was only 1 turnip per space. And then I actually replanted some of the thinnings. Let's see, I don't know if you can see here. This was one that I replanted, and it's not doing great, but it's alive, and by the time I pull some of these, because some of these are definitely ready to be pulled, there will be more light for these ones that I replanted. Okay, over here I've got onions and also some weeds. So like here's a little onion. You can see the tiny little onion bulb there. Definitely more successful than the ones I started individually in trays several months ago. So I'm going to keep that growing method, just tossing the seeds in a container and then replanting rather than individually putting them in their own cells. Got some leeks here that are doing pretty well. And then also I did the same thing with leeks as I did with onions. And then you just take out the clump and kind of separate the individual leeks and replant them. They don't seem quite as sturdy as the onions at this point, but I will replant them pretty soon, I'm thinking. Over here, got the pepper bed. The peppers are doing pretty well, and I've got a bunch of basil in there. My hot peppers. The hot peppers are growing kind of slow, but I think that's typical for hot peppers. And then over here, my green beans are starting to mature, so I'm just going to wrap this one around here, and they'll grow up the trellis like that. I just got to keep on it, otherwise they kind of get out of control. Over here, I still haven't harvested this lettuce, and I really need to before it bolts. More beans. I gotta do this a little more often, I think. The last couple of days we've had lots and lots of rain and heat and storms, and it's been great for growing stuff, but also stuff has grown a lot. More lettuce. Got some ornamental gourds here. The sweet peas that I planted aren't doing great. They're still pretty short, and I've been trying to keep them watered. There's some of my spinach seeds. Those might be ready for harvest soon. My tomato plants are doing great. Trying to keep them within the confines of their little hoops, but this one is already grown out of it. This is my half flower, half spinach seed bed. So we've got calendula here that isn't getting a whole lot of sun because of all that spinach. And then over here, the jury is still out whether these are cleome, like I planted, or whether it's just good old pigweed. They look very similar, and I'm just not sure what, but I'm leaving it to see just in case. This is the amaranth I planted. I wonder if this needs stakes because it's really tall. And then I've got some of the long beans, the purple long beans. Those are doing pretty good. Let me show you the other side of this bed here before we move on. Planted glads in here, but they were old glad bulbs and they're not coming up. However, I planted amaryllis bulbs, old ones, in here, and we already have a beautiful amaryllis that's on its way out, actually. So we'll see if that grows this winter. I don't know if it will. Okay, here we've got more tomatoes and a marigold and basil, and these are our carrots. There we go, kind of in the way there. These are like purple galaxy and then Danver short, I think. And then we've got some parsley over here. They're doing all right. There's definitely not enough to put up for winter, but as an experiment, they're doing okay. The cucumbers here are taking off. Just like the beans, I have to diligently put them back on the trellis, or as you can see, they just flop all over and take over everything. So that's that bed. I think we just have one more bed over here left. The seed bed, onion seeds on their way, Swiss chard seeds on their way. And then also over here I've got potatoes finally coming up. I waited forever for these potatoes to come up, but here they are. We've got a purple variety and then just a regular variety over there. The kohlrabi is doing great. I've never had kohlrabi before. So I think it's doing great, I guess. And then also the interplanted potatoes. Potatoes look like they're taking a hit by potato bugs. So I'll have to get out here and monitor that situation.